Hello, June. Here we are, people. Every single Monday, we're going to be here no matter what. I know it's a holiday today in the Netherlands. It doesn't matter. Here we are. Well, it's not a holiday in Colombia, and that's why we can continue doing these events and having amazing coffee again. Americano, a lot of Americano. I hope that I'm not shaky after this event. Well, for everybody who's joining for our event, Going International for SMEs, Expert Advice and Success Stories, I had something to say. And we had a last-minute cancellation because the expert had something to do with his family. Really important, emergency. So we need to reschedule that one. If you're here with us for this event, please make sure that you send your email via private message or comment or as you prefer, so we can send you the invitation for the reschedule of this event. However, Coffee Break with Maria is Coffee Break with Maria is going to happen winter, spring, summer, or fall. So I'm going to be here to talk about really, really amazing things because we have a lot of things to share. It's the first of the month, so we're launching a full agenda. Look, I even needed to print it in this beautiful, not so beautiful papers, it's black and white, but we have 10 different events that we put together with more than 50 experts now. Our expert pool also grew a lot during these last months. So we're going to be able to share across the 10 different categories, amazing content. We have English events happening every 2 per week, sorry. So we have Monday, coffee break. Thursdays, we have a webinar expert demo, or we have a workshop going on. This month, we're going to have workshops. So we're going to talk about the overview of what's going to happen, apart from also the 2 events that we have per month in Spanish, also joining forces with our partners. So yeah, things are happening. We want to tell you officially what is going to happen, how June is going to look like, so you can plan ahead. I think that is all about planning. Don't feeling overwhelmed with a lot of events that don't make sense. The idea is to show you this is the calendar and that you pick what is the best fit for your solution, your case, your business, what applies in the end. It's all about staying relevant, and that's what we want. And we also have a really, really, really important announcement to make. It's a really thing that we have been cooking, that we have been thinking that is the best way to solve things and to continue adding value, you know, because so far we're doing amazing. We have people that are always here with us, grabbing a really nice cup of coffee and joining. We see you. But this is the time to think about how to stay even closer, like, you know, to take the next step with our experts, with our target audience that is pretty diverse and entrepreneurial. And for that reason, before we talk about the whole program of today, you know, with this amazing coffee, and I hope that you can listen to my background jazz music, we want to invite one of our experts, one of the experts that you have seen a lot in the last month, to talk about what we're doing, like the background story, the behind the scenes stories that is about creating these online communities. We will talk today about the relevance of building online communities, what are the do's and don'ts, best practices, cases, and how that is connected to your business. Because in the end, well, we can all talk to a bunch of people every day, but it's about converting those contacts into something that will add value to your business, call it collaborators, freelancers, providers, of course, potential clients. So today we're going to talk about this first, and second, we're going to talk about what we have prepared for you with the special surprise that we have done. So without more introductions, after minute 3:47, I'm happy to welcome our expert, Cristian Socarrás.
Hey.
Yes. That was fast, huh?
Yeah.
How are
Looks
you?
like home now, right?
Yeah, it looks like, you know, this guy.
It looks like home. I've been talking to you people for the last 5 weeks.
I know. In English, in Spanish, like you name it. Yeah. Are you planning to learn Dutch? I think so.
I'm planning to learn Dutch.
Yeah, like because really Cristian is also planning to come to the Netherlands as soon as we can get out of Colombia and go to the Netherlands. Okay, so things are a bit crazy, but we're coping, and we're coping good, you know. And the reason why I also invite especially Cristian is because he's doing an amazing job promoting the expert pool in Colombia. Bravo! Yeah, we're doing a really, really nice job. He's really good in sales, I can say. He's a really good commercial guy, and he's helping municipalities, government, everything to know that we have this one-stop solution. The expert pool is about solving things and having professionals to be there with you whenever you need it and transform complete businesses, and even encourage different territories to start thinking about how to promote entrepreneurship locally. So thanks for that, Christian. I have to say that publicly. Well,
you're welcome.
Today, we're going to focus, as I said, on online communities, building this whole thing that is, of course, in this case of Corona crisis, and when we are all online, this is boosting like crazy. One day I was sending you this example of recipes that you are doing, while you're cooking at home, and just one group about recipes and what you're making for dinner became like in 2 days for over 400 members. So this is like... so we are aware of this boost of people doing different things. So I would like to know from your perspective, that because you're also really engaged into different communities, what is the relevance of building online communities?
I think right now, in terms of awareness, is the most important thing. I think it is the most important thing.
What do you mean by awareness? Let's translate everything.
Yeah, I mean, you need to get exposure, right? You need to get exposure. Usually, we talked about this the last coffee break. Entrepreneurship is all about contact, interaction, networking, right? And businesses are about networking as well. Because when you do your commercial endeavors and you work on that, you need to touch people, talk to people, go there, come here, whatever.
Yeah.
And since we are in lockdown, everyone is at home, so this is the way.
I mean, for now it's the only way.
Yeah.
And it's kind of working. And before we continue speaking, we're at coffee break with Maria. What are you drinking?
I'm having a Castillo coffee.
What is that? Castillo.
Well, we are Colombian, so we have different kinds of coffee. We have the Arabica coffee, that is the major species, I guess.
Yeah.
But we have geishas, castillos, jabas, whatever. A lot of them. So I'm drinking a Castillo coffee today.
Nice. Black?
Yes, completely black.
Same black, huh? We're going black today.
No. I do not drink milk. I do not do that. It's black coffee, no sugar, no nothing.
Important, huh? Really light. As you can see, also Christian is into sports and biking. Really, you're ready to go to the Netherlands basically with his bike. He's into sports as well. But anyway, like right now, it's really right, going back on topic, it's really, really important to think about how to stay relevant in the context of creating or building communities, Not only look at me and my brand and look at my product, but how can you really create something from scratch? So in your experience, when you have created communities, what is the best practice, or what are the do's and don'ts when it's like, I'm going to start a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group about, you name it? What is the way to go?
The most important thing for me is to cater the community you are a part of.
What is that?
So if you have needs, if you understand what you're after, what is important for you, what you want to achieve, and you group with people like you that have same expectations, same needs, same desires, same objectives, it is easier for you to talk to them, right? Because there are going to be a lot of interesting common points.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious.
So that's the first thing.
That's the first step. And it's important to think about that the baseline is common interest. Of course, otherwise, you will join a community. If somebody tells me now, join a community about horses, I'm like, I like horses, but not that much. For example.
Big companies are having problems with this. Because they are accustomed to let their advertisement departments and outsourcers do the work. They do not know their communities. They do not know their people. They are very far away from them. So, and they try to be like gentle and, and they look corny.
Oh, right.
What? Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like really cheesy. They do not know how to communicate. that's that's the second point. That's the don't do and do. Be
Yeah.
authentic.
Yeah.
If you do not know how to be authentic, it doesn't matter if you're good or bad or whatever. Be authentic.
Yeah. A
That's the
fake is a
most
fake,
important
huh?
thing.
When things are fake, you can smell it miles
Yeah, you
away.
can smell like a miles away, and you hate it.
Yeah.
You hate it.
People will never identify with that, but they can maybe do really nice trolling and memes and stuff about
Yeah.
you trying, wanna be community lead or whatever.
So in these moments, even if you do it like organically without a lot of technical like detail, you gotta pay attention to your brand DNA.
Really
what
important, which is
what you are
linking.
as a
Yeah,
person, what
yeah,
you are as a company, why you do what you do, and you gotta put that into people's minds.
yeah,
You
yeah.
see,
Okay, I'm
that's why
curious.
you go back to the first point:
Yeah,
common interest.
of course, of
Community
course.
is about people who share same values and desires.
That's that. So if you are watching right now and you already have your community or you're thinking about where to get started or how to start, please feel free to make questions. Coffee Break with Maria live Q&A, Q&A. So I'm not the only one making questions. Please drop your questions now so we can also have time to cover those. And I like what you're saying in terms of best practices like do's and don'ts and the point of authenticity and how that also should be aligned with your brand DNA. So, for
Yeah.
example, if I'm extrovert Colombian, whatever, and I'm working in a corporate world, I don't know, selling pharmaceutical things, really serious, could I really be the community lead for that community? Or it's like, no, let's better find the scientific guy
No.
with the smart glasses or something. You see,
Yeah.
you might be this type of person, but you always need to remember who are you speaking for, which is basically if you're an entrepreneur, you're talking on behalf of your business. So it's probably that your business is going to be like you, more or
Yeah.
less, like your business
The
personality and your personality will be a match if you are the business owner. Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
So
I
now you
always
understand
I
why Extra Pool
always
has a lot of nice, funny things because I like to laugh, and we have this floating element here in our logo, like rescuing people, because I just want to laugh about it. And if I don't laugh if I'm not laughing and enjoying my business, I will quit it. It's not with my person, it doesn't go with my personality. So really
sure.
think about your personality versus what you do, how you define your DNA and communicate as a brand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and in social media and communities is more noticeable
yeah,
because it is not the brand speaking. It is not institutional communication, right? It is personal communication.
yeah,
So it is you who is driving the conversation. So
yeah.
what you put, your personality is exposed
It's
in a
there.
way.
So you
Yeah.
are who you are, and you cannot put makeup on it.
No,
No
you
way.
can, but
You can
but
try,
you need
but
a lot of practice. I mean,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
we have Hollywood stars and politicians and public figures who make a job out of creating a persona.
Yeah,
But regular Joes like you and me, we need to be aware that we are exposing ourselves to the community. So our brand needs to be aligned with our values. I always
100%.
I always put a very simple example. It's like a really religious person owns a discotheque.
Well,
You
some
see?
priests are really fun.
Yeah,
So what
but
happens?
that is a contradiction, right? And you need to make it at least a paradox.
Exactly, it needs to match somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you need to find a way. And in
yeah,
communities, that is very important. That is very important. It is not the role you are playing. It is the
yeah,
person plus the role. It is Maria plus CEO, founder of 7 Days to Go.
yeah, exactly. And that's a good tip because in the end, it's about connecting from that perspective. Every time that we start a business and we go through something like a process like Golden Circle, seeing your why is at the center, values, mission, vision, it's all about that. It's about having a crystal clear understanding of who you are and how you want to put yourself out there as a business owner. So that's really, really, really important for you to think about, okay, now that I understand who I am and why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to start a community, yeah, how everything is in the same line, So, for example, us, we're doing like experts, so we have over 50 experts across these different categories. So what makes sense for us? Of course, to show that we have all these different experts hosting all these type of events, so it's not crazy what we're doing. But then when it comes to creating our own community, what should be the must-have for us? What would you say that, how do you picture our own community? So it makes sense, and we can, give an example about how we can maintain that coherence.
You mean about at the expert pool or in general?
If we as expert pool start our own community, then what do you think that should be there that reflects our DNA?
I think there's a triangle, 3 points. The first one is that authenticity, that intercultural authenticity, because it is something that comes from you that are Colombian but live in Amsterdam, or you are a very important resource for that community. But you have knowledge.
Okay.
A lot of people who know a lot of things, and you have a lot of people who need that.
Okay.
That connection. So those 3 points need to connect. Yeah.
Okay.
So is for me is taking that knowledge out of that like old structure and putting that to the people in a very fashionable and easy way to acquire, right? So that's the most important thing for me.
Perfect. So I think that this is really important. And speaking about that, we're going to talk about how we are going to make that happen live. Yes, because this is one of the surprises I have. But before we go there, let's talk about success stories. So far, which communities that they're really making an amazing job there, like boom, not only in terms of having people that share the same interests, but in terms of the interaction, because in the end, if you're the only one posting, I have been to many groups or like created groups where it's like me, myself, and I, maybe my mother, my brother, but that you see that people really are interacting with it. So let's talk about success stories, and let's talk about how we met.
We met because of an exercise of community building. So we were doing some events in Colombia, and we began doing those events because of a conversation in a group of entrepreneurs in Colombia that is called the Startup Colombia. And we created something that was called OMI, that joined a lot of people who were having needs, doing their startup businesses. And we created something out of them. And because of that, we joined forces with university and a lot of marketing experts in Bogota, in Colombia, like top marketing experts. And we created an event that was called OME Festival. And we joined like 300 people in a space. And we had 20 experts giving class for 45 minutes each. And we met Maria because of that exercise. And then I went to Amsterdam, and we had a couple of meetings, and we had fun, and we knew each other, and we made match. And that's why we are talking about these things. So that's the first exercise.
I mean, this was exactly coming out of the whole point of being in the same community about, starting Startup Colombia is about business owners in Colombia, people who are starting not only startups, but also any type of business. But the point is that we met because of that. And I remember that I just landed from the Netherlands, and I just took out my wisdom tooth. So I had a potato face, and I couldn't even talk. And I went to meet Chris, and I was like, I cannot imagine how much I talk. So I couldn't talk. I could talk 5% of what I normally talk when I met you. And I was like, I cannot talk, but I like you. We should do something together. That was the memory, like 1 year ago or something like that.
And two months after that, I was in Amsterdam.
Yeah. So boom. So this is a success story.
Yeah.
But so if we see this type of communities like Startup Colombia or other communities that you have created for, as part of the marketing strategy, like what examples do we have there? Like what type of things do you think
something? NASA succeeded last week.
Yes. We need to comment on NASA.
Yes. they were launching the first private
Private, yeah.
spaceship trip.
Okay.
I don't
So
know. Yeah.
this type of
So that was crazy.
thing.
And I was a friend of mine who works for United Nations invited me to the group that they did. They had a group in
Yeah.
Facebook, and
Hmm.
there are people from all over the world discussing NASA, discussing SpaceX, discussing the program and space travel.
Hmm.
When I joined, there were like 10,000 people. Now there are like 20,000 people, and
Wow.
there are a lot of interaction in there. A lot of people asking, replying, people from Bolivia asking people from NASA how they can be an astronaut. They have that dream, and there is a nice interaction, a really pure, like sincere interaction, not driven by NASA, but by the people, and that is
Hmm.
really cool. So NASA,
Wow.
very nice, very well
Nailed
done.
it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
nailed it.
Nailed it. Really cool. So that's a really, really good example. But also it applies when, yeah, for business. Like even for boring industries, you told me about cases with law or with like other sectors that you think like and
Yeah,
still it works. So if you
you
can
know
give us an
something?
example, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if you do nails.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, doesn't
Just
matter. There are always going to be people interested in the same things. I mean, I follow a lot of people, content creators, who do things that are supposed to be boring.
yeah, yeah.
I follow a couple of guys who are chiropractics,
That's an
all
interesting.
chiropractics. Yeah,
Cool.
and each video they post, they have like 10,000 views, 20,000 views.
Hmm.
Why? Because there are people who need that.
Yeah, exactly. And you will be
There are
amazed
people who are
about
crazy like that.
how many people like things that you will never think about. Just
Yeah, you
think
can.
about the views on YouTube videos. You have like the little kitty that is doing this. How many people like cats and dogs? It's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
that's the most usual thing. But watching two guys building, I don't know, a table using nothing but a hammer and a couple of knives,
Hmm.
that is crazy. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can geek out about anything
Everything.
and everything.
Uh-huh.
You see?
So, so
So
it's about doing that right because you can have whatever. You can have a topic that everybody likes. I don't know, food. But how to make that right? Because you can have the people interested. Yeah, I will join the group. But what happens after you have a bunch of members? Boom.
a group is only good if the communication is driven by the community.
Yeah.
If you are
Not
the
by
only one
you.
talking,
Admin is
you do
posting.
not have a group. That is
You
why
have a monologue.
we have the different between institutional communication and social communication.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you have a nice page where you post things in your page. You
yeah,
don't have
that's
to
the
create
NASA
a group.
page.
Yeah.
That's the NASA page that they do a
Yeah.
press release and they post it and they do a nice video and
Hmm.
it goes, right?
Great.
So it doesn't matter how many people you have within your community. You can have 100, you can have 10 people watching at your video. But if you are a business and you can make business with 2 or 3 customers per month and you have 10 people watching, you're doing something
Hmm.
that is going to benefit you.
How long it takes to get there? When people say, "Yeah, I start a group, but only 5 people are following," or "I have 50 people, but nobody says anything or interacts at all." What can be if you do if you do your job good? What can you expect in terms of growth and interaction within your group?
If you did the group and you don't have communication right away, you did the group wrong,
Okay.
the wrong way. Why?
Okay.
Because it means that there is no interest in the conversation.
Yeah.
This is like a have you seen those 80s teenage movies where there are the girls on one side and the boys on one side and one has to go and dance and do the
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
silly thing for all of them to join? That's
Yeah.
the same thing you have to do here. If everyone is seated on their stools, it is not going to
It's
work.
not going to happen. Somebody
So
needs to do the breakout dance. Break the
yes,
ice. Get
yes,
started.
yeah, sure.
That's
And
cool.
but it only happens when you have a topic that is relevant to all of them.
Yeah.
You see?
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and web is different. People are not so scared of
You have the screen.
joining to conversation
You
and
have the screen,
typing crazy
so you're
things.
behind the screen. You can say more
Yeah,
things that you
sure. You
normally
can do
see because
whatever
of
you
your
want.
face.
You can date people. You can ask girls out and do whatever. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
So if you cannot break the ice with that lack of inhibition, you are doing
Hmm.
something wrong from the
Wow.
get-go.
So we need to make sure that we are prepared before we do things, but we also can do things and see how it goes as well as an experimental thing, because I think that it's good to know that you have people who are interested. So, for example, for us, since we're hosting events, we're getting way more attention. People know more about what is 7 days to go, our expert pool happening, and that is giving us really positive feedback so far because we have a lot of people reaching out on a one-on-one basis or booking the experts for exploratory calls and so. So I think that we have an indication that what we're doing is on the right track. That's one thing. But the other thing is like, since we have a lot of groups happening, I'm also curious about what are the main tips on your side, like to stand out. How can we stand out as a community?
The first thing I'm seeing this a lot, and the first thing is that you gotta understand that even if there is a lot of content, not all content is good.
Mm-hmm. Boom.
Most of it is bad, like really bad. So, first of all, do good content.
Yeah, content
Yeah.
creation is key. As we said before when we hosted this event about content marketing, and we always call content is the king, content is king. So, like, what are the good, what type of things do you need to take into account when creating good content? What is good
O-
content?
Okay, the first thing is that it needs to be relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And that is only possible when you are talking to a specific group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to the
Yeah.
example of the religious people. If you are religious in a given creed, you got to talk about that within the circumstances of what is going on. Is it the apocalypse? What is it? Right? That is relevancy for
Mm-hmm.
that group. If you're talking about businesses, what you are going to do, like really
Mm-hmm.
specific solutions. So community, eh, we talked about this a few minutes before. It's about knowing what you need, knowing what you expect, and knowing what is important to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because this, what you expect as a community, it is very specific. People react in a different way within different communities.
True. True.
So if you know that and you know what they expect and what they need, and you can offer something that can get them in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
you have good content. At least the minimum thing for good content. Then you need to deliver it well. Have a good camera. Learn to look at the camera. Learn to talk to the camera. Do a setup that is nice, right? Be concrete. Be on point. Be nice. Be fun. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, express yourself. Whatever you are, express yourself. So that's
Wherever
important.
you are, whoever you are.
Yeah.
Important. So, well, in this context, I think that I'm going to go for a dare, truth or dare. I think that we can try, and this is something that we have been discussing also within the expert pool, on launching our own community because we have all these experts ready to share content. We're doing a really amazing job with everything that is happening around events. But of course, the one-on-one interactions or to be able to ask anything to our experts is really important, because we know that we need to speak to your business and to your reality. And that's why for us, that will be like the extra step. So of course, you have this type of space to get inspired, to think about, oh yeah, I haven't talked about this, or I haven't thought about this and implemented in my business. But I think that going the extra mile for us is making our experts more approachable. And that's why we have decided to start with our community and see how that goes, knowing that we already know what our potential clients need, what entrepreneurs need. And I think that with that, we can add a lot of things. I
Sure.
think that Andres Beltran is watching. Hey, he says, "Hi, Maria and Christian. Thanks for making this kind of webinars." Oh, you're welcome. And that's exactly what I'm saying. You know, like if Andres is here watching us, I don't mind if it's only Andres watching us. No, I don't mind about one person that is engaged with what we do. For me, it's a win. For me, it's like I will wake up.
You know something
over and over again. Tell me.
You know something? That is something that people do not take into account. They think, oh, only 10 people are watching. Oh, yeah. Only 5 people are watching. But these cooks in time.
True.
You get 10 today, but I have posted videos on my personal profile that only 2 or 3 people watch when I was doing them live. But 3 months later, people are telling me, hey, I watched this thing that you did. Can we talk about so-and-so and so?
Yeah. Exactly. And that's really important. Happening. Don't think about the immediate results. Go for the long run, people. That's how we do it. We post these events. We're recording this session right now. This is going to be uploaded into our YouTube channel. I know it's streamed to YouTube and Facebook now. So we're going simultaneously on Facebook and YouTube right now. And this is going to be recorded. So what is happening is that we have this content that is timeless. You know, you will need to think about online communities moving forward, especially in this reality that we have right now. So people, we invite you to believe in yourself, believe in your business, go for it. The worst thing that can happen is that it doesn't work. But if you think too much and you do less, you will never see what is the feedback. So that's why we decided to do it. And I'm going to post now on the live comments, and also here, maybe we can do a nice sign that we are going to start our community from today. So from 1st of June, you will be having access to the experts. Ask anything that you need, apart from accessing to, of course, everything on the experts and our content. So join our community. We're going to be promoting this throughout the whole month, so you can have a closer relationship with us and just say, Christian, Maria, I have this problem. How can we help? You know, it's all about being there for you and understanding how we can stay relevant. How can we talk about the topics that are relevant for you? And we are like 31 minutes, 59, so the coffee break is supposed to finish now. So thank you, Christian, for those insights. Amazing. I think that we will continue the conversation on this for sure. And we're going to keep you posted on how our community, our own community, is going to grow little by little. So yeah, that's a really important announcement we made today. And apart from that, I want to invite you and everybody who is watching and will be watching this video later. I want to invite you to all the events that we're going to be hosting. As I said, every Monday and every Thursday we host in English, and we have 2 on Wednesdays. And actually we have the first one in Spanish on Wednesday. That's what I wanted to say about how to select the tech for your startup. That is going to be by our expert, Sebastian. Is the first. This is the first event for Sebastian. So that one is going to happen on Wednesday and at our 11 p.m. So that one and the great, here we're posting also the monthly calendar so you can prepare yourselves. So check everything that we have. I said I printed 2 different pages with all the events we have. So I have no time to go through everything, but just know that we have 2 happening. The second event in Spanish is actually going to be with Christian and with Carolina, co-hosted with the Dutch Colombian Chamber of Commerce. That is going to happen on the June 17th in Spanish. It's about social media marketing, how to succeed there, with a special focus on LinkedIn, people, really important. So in Spanish, it will be like mercadeo en redes sociales, cómo lograr resultados medibles y efectivos for everybody who's watching Spanish. And the one in June is cómo seleccionar la tecnología para tu startup, con Sebastián Pérez. For the rest, we have all the content in English happening. I will just read titles. You will check everything with the monthly agenda and make sure that you RSVP, because then you get access to the slides, to the videos, and to the next steps that are about having access to our experts with free calls to ask anything. So we have how to generate leads on LinkedIn with a Dutch expert happening. And also this week, Thursday, is the first webinar. Then we have sustainable mobility, how to move after COVID-19. We're going to talk about that nice bicycle that you have on the background. So
yeah, that's the one I was thinking, by bicycle.
Yeah, it's sustainable. And we're talking about Carolina Ramos, who is a Colombian based in Rotterdam. So you will talk about how is the reality of mobility in the Netherlands versus Colombia. It's going to be really interesting. And then we are going to have an ideation workshop about start, build, and grow your business. It's going to be about everything you need to know to get started, and a really nice framework to do so. And then we're going to have something called how to get funded, the investor speech. So we're going to talk about funding. Really interesting. I'm telling you everything. So of course you can also join to everything. You're more than invited.
I like it.
These are the English events. Then we have something called taking your health back for serious entrepreneurs. We do care about staying healthy and staying sane, because then we're
the most important thing.
That's the basis. So we invited our expert, who is a nutritionist. She has her own practice. She is based in Los Angeles. She's from Argentina. This event is going to be in English. Yeah, so it's a live webinar. And then we're going to have how to tell a good damn story. We're going to talk about narrative, actually creation, how to create the stories that we need to engage, to increase that engagement. And followed by how to make super effective pitches and presentations. There, we're going to have live pitches. So if you want to be there, pitching in front of the expert and having feedback, make sure that you are SVP, because you are going to have live feedback on your pitch. That is going to happen on the 25th of June, so you have enough time to prepare. And then we're closing the month with the impact of visual thinking at work. That's going to happen with PUS, our expert. On that, I'm taking a little bit more minutes for the whole agenda, but just so you know that we have fresh, nice content for you to just grab like this, Our expert PUS Monday is the expert in the spotlight. Every month we have one expert in the spotlight. He's going to be talking about visual thinking. He's going to be thinking about how to improve your communications with that type of content and help your team to be more aligned. So he's going to be available during the whole month for the 15 minutes free call. So all of that is in the agenda that we just share in there. And we just hope that this month is amazing for you, for everybody, for Christian, all the expert community, and of course, everybody who's joining our events on a regular basis. Namaste. Thank you for everything, Christian. Have an amazing week. Have an amazing walk. What did I say? Have an amazing month. This is what I wanted to say. In the Netherlands, guys, please play our events while you're enjoying that nice iced latte. You can do this from a terrace and just plug yourself and enjoy. I hope that you can join us and see what's coming up next. Yeah, that's it. Chin chin, everybody. Have a nice weekend. Ciao. Thank you, Christian.